Alrighty, we are on episode 5 of the cut, and first off, it's awesome that I've made it this far. But over the last year, I've had a lot of ideas, and I met a lot of great people in some very unconventional ways, and today's guest is one of them. Um, it all started through a Facebook group, and today I ended up sitting here with my friend Meir Sommer, who is trying to get his music career started while also studying to be a nurse, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's right. I just took my entrance exam, and hopefully this fall, unless the music career, unless that does anything for me, yeah, I'm going to be starting a nursing school. I'm going to be, hopefully doing that for a long time. So I'm very excited.
There you go. Um, so let's get started with music first. You know,
All
this
right,
music is universal.
All right. I'm always down to talk music. You know that.
Now, I say music is universal because you have your very first song out, and it's not in English.
Yeah, So it's funny. I'm technically Israeli. I was born there, but after that, that's pretty much where it ends. Yeah, in '98, I was born there. My parents lived there for a few months. They realized that if people like me were what they were going to get from living there, that it was probably time for them to get out. And when I was just a few months old, they moved back to America. Um, but yeah, I've always just, obviously I'm Jewish. I've always just had a connection to Judaism and connect to it, even just culturally through music. But to me, it was just a really cool opportunity to take that passion I have for music and that love I have of Judaism and just kind of bring them together. Something I was proud of.
And the song is in Hebrew or Yiddish?
It's in Hebrew.
Okay. What is it? So it's titled Abba, right?
Yeah, Abba, which it means father in Hebrew. It's based on the song Abba by Amir Dadon, who is an incredible Israeli artist. It actually comes from the perspective of a son singing to his father who's passed away.
Oh, that's kind of heavy actually. That's a little heavy there. So what inspired you to do this cover, and B gave you this? Well, what made you pick this song? Considering I know you, I've known you for the past year, so I know your brother. Yeah, your father's plays a big role in your life.
Yeah.
He said he's still alive, thankfully.
Yeah, my father's not dead. Let me be very clear. So it's funny. The first time I heard the song, I fell in love with it. I actually didn't know what was it about. I knew the title Abba means father, because I do have a background in the Hebrew language, I guess. But yeah, the first time I learned about it, I had no idea what it meant, and I actually sent my dad the song, and I said, "Wow, this is great! You should hear it." And then I listened to it, and I went, "Holy crap! This is going to remind him that his parents are dead." Because it's about to see his parents, and I didn't even think of that. So I quickly sent him a text. I'm like, "I'm so sorry. You got to check out what it's about first." But he liked it, and yeah, I thought it was really beautiful, and at the same time, it's heartfelt, like you said. It's I don't know, dark, but it really it'll make you feel things, but it's uplifting at the same time. It's almost like one of those things that gives you a punch in the gut and a big bear hug at the same time, and immediately I connected with it, and the day after I heard it for the first time, I went to the park to see my friend Ron, and while I was there, he's a big music guy also, so I showed him the song, and inspiration just kind of struck. I had never arranged a song, recorded, or like you said, released a song before, but I ran home, started arranging it, taking his song and trying to turn it into a vocal or a cappella arrangement, and spent that night and the next day creating my first arrangement. That was Thursday. I reached out to an amazing audio engineer, Nikki Brenner, who I've worked with in the past when I was part of an acapella group. And that Monday, I recorded the whole thing. And a few weeks later, there you go. It all just kind of came together really quickly. And it's been kind of a whirlwind, but I'm super stoked.
And when was the release date of it?
What was the release date of it? Oh my God, it was. I think at this point it was February 18th, just over a month ago, which is really crazy.
I just looked it up. February 18th. Wow.
Yeah. That's wild.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, I still can't really believe it. I remember the night when it came out, and I was on a Zoom call, one of those same Zooms where we met, and people were hitting refresh on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, and it's 12 o'clock and there's nothing, and I'm freaking out. Oh no, where's the song? And then it hits, and I was freaking out again because, oh my God, there's my song, and I couldn't believe it, and I still can't. But I'm just really thankful. I worked with some really cool people who helped with the audio engineering, things like that, and the reception's just been awesome. And there's another guy on the call you've met, obviously, Yoel. Mm-hmm. And so the song, actually, we released it in memory of his dad, Paul, who died last year. He had cancer. So I took that Abba, father, took that perspective and applied it to somebody else's father and really used it as a way to honor him. He was just an incredible man in many ways. And because of that, we were able to use the song as a way to fundraise for an amazing organization, Chai Lifeline. It's a Jewish organization that helps kids with cancer and their families and other terminal illnesses, things like that. But yeah, we've been able to raise a whole bunch of money for them through it. And it's just, like I said, it's been an amazing experience. And I'm just really, really thankful.
And actually, I just want to make sure it's okay with you, but you go with us playing a little bit of it?
Oh, yeah. Still never gets old hearing the song until I start singing, which of course is the whole song, and then I'm freaking out because I hear my voice, but here we are.
Skip a little bit ahead. So now, you did this all on your own.
Yeah, right? I did. Well, like I said, I wasn't joking. It feels weird every time I hear it. There's the wow, it's amazing, and then there's the I hate the sound of my voice, and somewhere they meet in the middle. But yeah, like you're saying, so everything you hear there is me. All the singing, that's me. And the vocal percussion or beatboxing, whatever you want to call it, that was me as well. Took me, I don't know, something like 9 hours to record right here in my bedroom. It was kind of a crazy day. Felt sick for a week afterwards, but
you got it all done in one day.
Yeah, all the recording I got done in one day.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
to me, when I hear that, it's you hear the emotion too, and with a song as heavy as this one, you want to feel that. So hopefully, with this podcast and people will tell other people and they hear the emotion as well. And hopefully that thing blows up for you for sure.
I appreciate that. Yeah,
you mentioned you were in an a cappella group.
Yeah. So I'm studying to become a nurse now, and I'm no longer in Binghamton. But I was a student at Binghamton University, and I actually was part of Kas Kesed, which is the Jewish a cappella group there, for about a year and a half, shorter than I expected when I joined. But yeah, it was really, really just an incredible experience from beginning to end. We did all sorts of cool things, performed all sorts of cool places, and wouldn't trade that experience for anything in the world, honestly.
What made you kind of say, "Hey, let me join this group"? Like, where did the music inspiration begin?
So, I've always been singing my entire life. I was in a choir with my brother Yehuda, older brother, when we were kids. And then I kind of got scared to sing. Don't know what it was. Stage fright sort of just kind of took over at one point, kind of arbitrarily. Don't know why. And for years, even my mom would, she'd hear me sing and she'd come on over at notes and I'd stop. And she was always like trying to catch me off guard so she could hear me sing. And never really happened. Not sure why. I just couldn't. Sometimes you just get that feeling, can't overcome it. But couldn't do it for whatever reason. Graduate high school, nothing, going to gap year in Israel. My roommate Ben, who, it's funny, I thought we were cousins when we first met, only through marriage, sort of counts, but he, after our gap year, he went to Binghamton. I was in community college because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do yet. I went to visit him for a weekend, and when I did, he starts telling me about this a cappella group he's in, and it was actually the formal for all the a cappella groups that weekend because there's 9 groups. So they have a big formal, open bar, which everybody likes that.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you what's in this mug, but so I went. I had an amazing time at formal. I met all these great people, and it was just a good time. So right then and there, not only did I know I wanted to get into singing, again, I decided that's when I decided I wanted to go to Binghamton. Actually, knew nothing about the school, knew nothing academically, knew nothing what I wanted to do, but I said, community college, that's not where it's at. I'm going to go to Binghamton. This looks like a great time. And, well, Ben's in an a cappella group, so I should join Ben in that a cappella group. And then later that weekend, we ended up going out and watching one of the Avengers movies. I think Black Panther had just come out. And so a bunch of guys and one girl from the group went out to see it. And even though I was just visiting, they invited me along. And I really connected with them and with their music in general because I got to listen to some of that weekend as well. So it was just kind of a match made in heaven in that regard. And yeah, from then on, I knew I wanted to be part of it. And when I got back that Monday, I guess, just a couple days later, I immediately applied to Binghamton. Didn't apply anywhere else. I said, that's where I'm going. I hedged my bets, burnt my bridges, and I guess it worked out. So not the worst decision, but
the hell of a recruiting trip there.
Oh yeah, they showed me a real good time.
So what kind of things, you said there were 9 groups. What differentiated, obviously you had a friend in it, but what differentiated the group you joined from the rest? Like what made it special? Why were there 9? Like, was it just everybody doing their own thing, or?
So I'll get to the 9 first. Each one, they just do tons of different genres and purposes. There's an all-female group, there's an all-male group, there's an oldies group, there's an angsty group. I don't know how to define that kind of music, okay. But and they're just groups that cover all sorts of music. There's a pirate group that actually started last year. So really, there's something of everything. I guess now there's 10 groups, but yeah, this is the Jewish group. It's funny how I chose this one. It worked out amazingly, but it was just one of those things where my friend was in it, met some of the guys, and it was just kind of meant to be, I guess. I guess just as easily he could have been in any of the other groups, but I'm sure glad he was in Koskaza because I had a ball.
And those friends you made in that, obviously they last a while. College friends last a hell of a lot longer than you really ever think they do.
Oh yeah. You're so open.
What kind of impact have those friends made on you?
I mean, the friends from that group. I mean, so Ben, he's my best friend. I just saw him this weekend. I just went up to Binghamton to visit him. Ezra, one of the guys who took me out to that movie with him. I was the best man at his wedding this summer, and one of the guys who I sang him down the aisle with is this guy, Alan, a close friend of mine who's also in the group. So really, everything just kind of comes together beautifully. And Alan's getting married next year. I'm going to that wedding. So it's like, it's really just a family. And there's some people who I was never even in the group with, but because they were in the group before I was in the group, we're close friends as well. And it just, like, I guess family really would be the right word. I guess you asked about friends. Maybe that's the best answer. I wouldn't even call them friends. It feels like they're more than that, honestly. They're not just a bunch of people you get together to sing with. At a certain point, it's not just your voices that you're making trying to blend, right? You're spending so much time together, and in order to do that, you have to really care about each other and respect each other, and you have this common interest, singing music. You're mostly all Jewish, and the ones who aren't, they have an understanding of the culture generally, just from being a part of the group. So suddenly, you've got either a recipe for disaster or a recipe for some really close friends, and I guess I'm just glad it worked out for the latter, because I'm a pretty lucky guy.
And was it just all Jewish music, or no?
No, so there's a lot of Hebrew music, but then there's covers of pop songs. They just came up. They just came out with a cover of "The Bones" by Maren Morris, and
Great song, great song.
those are trying to think what else. Little Talks, I know, was on the newest album of Monsters.
So
and
you guys
Men.
would actually release albums too?
Yeah, we've well, I guess I don't know if I still say we. I'm an alum of the group, I guess I could say that. We've got 7 albums on Spotify. We've actually been around, coming on, this fall, I believe it's going to be 25 years.
Wow.
1996 we started. Oh yeah, 25 years. Yeah, 25 years this fall. 7 albums. We released a couple singles when I was there as well, and I'm not sure what they've got in store now, but I'm excited to find out, because it feels like every time they do something, it's just, I mean, it's cliche to say, but it really just feels like they just keep getting better and better. I don't know if it's the time. I'd like to think it's the alumni support network, but no, but seriously, I mean, they're working hard. They've got amazing people. They just keep taking new members every semester. 1, 2, maybe even a few more. But the people they get are just wonderful, and I guess they're doing a good job picking who gets to join the family. Because it really is a blessing. It just grows every year, that family, and we're so grateful for all of it.
It's awesome. Now, obviously, everyone has a subtle flex when they do something cool. Now, I know you and one of our other friends, Tamar, both in Coscasset, and you both like to bring this up every so often. Not too much, just every so often. You guys reached out to the Impractical Jokers at one point, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. Trying to think when this was. We went on tour. It was funny. It was one of those situations where something kind of goes wrong and a lot of good comes out of it unexpectedly. We were supposed to go this was my first year in the group. We were supposed to go on tour in Florida, and for various reasons, it didn't work out. Kind of last minute. A lot closer to when the tour was scheduled than I would have liked to find out that it wasn't happening. But nonetheless, we went on a tour of New York instead. That was put together by one of our incredible members, Hannah. And while we were there, we stopped at Hannah's house. We hung out with her family a little bit, watched some TV, and of course, being the cultured people we are, we had to watch. We watched the guys. We watched Impractical Jokers, and there's one episode. I don't know how familiar you are with it, but there's one episode where they're, as a punishment for 2 of the guys, they have to open for the Imagine Dragons at a concert, and they make them sing these made-up songs, and they're not even made-up songs. They just give the 2 guys song titles. They give them song titles, and they're like, "Now sing." In their earpieces, unbeknownst to the audience. The audience thinks it's a real band opening for the Imagine Dragons. Of course, it goes horribly. So there's one song called "Shut Your Face, Grandma," and it was just, obviously it was a disaster, but we figured, we could capitalize on that disaster, maybe have some fun with it. So we recorded our own little cover, impromptu, on the spot, no planning or anything like that, of their song, and I got to solo, if you'll even call it that, and that girl Hannah, her family friend is one of the producers of the show, so yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Really?
Yeah, she said that, and I was, like, "Oh, you haven't know what the Impractical Jokers, cool." I mean, nothing's gonna come from this though. We're just a bunch of schmucks singing, and we made it up on the spot. It can't be that good. But a little while later, we're at karaoke that night. Her phone buzzes, and she goes, "Oh my God, we got a response from Joe." And he's one of the stars of the show. He's been my favorite for a long time. It's just a video of him telling us how cool he thought it was and how impressed he was, and we were all just hugging each other and screaming, and
back when you can hug each other, right?
Yeah, now we're giving each other one of these. I mean, we're not even face to face, but But damn, it was it was a good time.
Now, you've mentioned family a lot, and
Yeah.
family is, I know, a big part of your life. You have how many siblings?
Seven siblings.
Got to make sure you have those fingers. One, two. Oh yeah, there's that one.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
you
yeah,
never
okay.
know, honestly, but we'll go with seven.
Um, what kind? And I know you guys, you moved around a lot. Um, what kind of values do you put on family? Being that you guys have moved around a lot, there's eight of you, right, including yourself. What kind of value is placed on family, not in just in your house, but within yourself?
Um,
Because you mentioned family with your friends as well. It feels like a family.
I guess I don't know if I'd even give it value as much as I'd say that it's up here and everything else is down here. Because at a certain point, that's really all you got, and at the same time, once you do have it, you don't really need anything else. Um, we obviously we all go through some tough times, and when there's 8 kids, 2 parents, there's gonna be all sorts of tough times all the time, just statistically speaking. But yeah, I'm just really grateful because as you can imagine, things get really crazy, chaotic all the damn time. Um,
More.
but to say we love each other though is just. I mean, I'm upstairs earlier, and my little brother's 8, which is crazy. It feels like yesterday he was like that
And
big,
he's the
but
one who looks pretty much exactly like you, right?
yeah, that's what they say. He used to run around calling himself my puppy. Um, but he just came over to me. He said, "Can I have a hug?" So I gave him a hug, and he said, "And a kiss." So I gave him a little kiss. But like I saw him a bunch of times today. But that's how tight we are. We all love each other, and like the little kids, they just feel like they could ask us for anything, and we all got their backs all the time. So I'm just warning you, hey guys, you see this? My sisters are awful. No, but no, but it's uh it's really nice.
Now, you've also mentioned Judaism a lot, and obviously plays a big role in your life. You are conservative Jewish, right? You raised conservative or raised Orthodox?
Orthodox, yeah,
So, and you were in a Jewish a cappella group, or
yeah. I was in
mostly
a Jewish
Jewish,
acapella group. Mm-hmm.
and we actually met because we're both Jewish.
Wow,
So
feels like a million years ago. Yeah, yes, we did.
crazy. It's at the time we're recording right now, not even 1 year. About
Jeez.
about 51 weeks ago. Close enough. Anyway,
All right, well, hang in there.
close
We just
enough.
might
Close
make it.
enough. Um. Anyway, what role does Judaism play in your life? How obviously your music, it's kind of a big part of it. What role does it play there?
So I talk about family a lot, like you said, but even bigger than that is community. Um, it's that aspect of Judaism, the importance of community, the importance of taking care of the people around you, and of course the fact that they're going to take care of you. But it's not even about that. It's about the fact that you know strength in numbers, not just for the purpose of power, but for the purpose of care, for the purpose of love. Um, 1,000 people all loving each other is a lot better than one person loving themselves next to 1,000 other people who are all loving themselves. Um, and yeah, there's just so much kindness I feel in the community. Um, you hear a house burns down, and it feels like the next week, who knows? Another one's paid for, and clothes are donated, and they have what people just care, and they love, and they give, and they do so much. It's not a community of people who like to sit around and wait for things. It's people who like to kind of take what's theirs and really work for things, and they're not just working for themselves; they're working for the other people around them, and just getting to witness that um, is really amazing. Um, I mean, we talked about the song being heavy, but in a similar vein, I remember when my dad's parents, when they passed away at different times, but both times when they passed away, there's a concept in Judaism called Shiva, where the family sits for a week, and friends, family, other people just come to kind of comfort them, visit them in their home. And I remember it was obviously a terrible time, but people made food for weeks for the family, so we didn't have to worry about cooking or anything like that. And they brought the kids where they needed to go, and they bought things that needed to be purchased, and it felt really overwhelming and amazing at the same time as being a difficult time. But then on the opposite end of the spectrum, I remember when my little brother was born, the youngest one. The others feel like so long ago. It's kind of hard to look back on them. But the community, once again, they came together, and there were gifts and clothes, and they all came over to celebrate with us, and they brought food, and it was just, again, there's such a communal sense of belonging for every single person. And like I said, whether happy, sad, anything in the middle, there's always a get together, there's always food, there always also seems to be alcohol, but yeah, we love to eat and drink, us.
Damn right. Now I was actually asked this at my bar mitzvah, and I want to ask it to you. What does being Jewish mean to you?
Ooh, that's a tough question.
Keep in mind, my rabbi put this on a 13-year-old kid who barely learned his Torah portion. To think heavy on that stuff while worrying about different language?
Wow. Well, you know what? I need some inspiration. What does Judaism mean to you, Max Lutzker?
Dude, I don't even remember what I said, but as we grow older, life changes. To me, as you said it best, it's about the community, it's about the people. You're always looking out for other people, and it's like I wasn't raised Jewish to the extent you were. I was raised rather Reform, where it was more we celebrate the big fours, I call it: Passover, Hanukkah, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, the big four. But to me, it was communal mostly because I went to Hebrew school. On Easter, Christmas, you had your Jewish friends you hung out with. So yeah, for me, it was communal, and it still is to this day.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I really identify with that. And like you said, even with the big four, I mean, obviously, I guess this weekend's Passover, Pesach. And obviously, this year is different, but typically, lots of families.
Why is this night different than all other nights?
Oh, good Lord, don't even get me started. Oh, where to begin?
We're not wearing masks this year, though.
Yeah, that's finally. Obviously, we're just starting to get those vaccines, so we're able to relax a little bit. It's still just my family, but my grandparents are actually going to be there for our big meal and the Seder. And typically, though, in a normal year, that sense of community really comes through even more. We'll be with my grandparents and maybe some cousins, aunts, uncles, and a few family friends who didn't have somewhere to go. And the dining room is, I don't even want to say filled because I don't know what filled plus one, but it's just everybody's packed in, and it's loud and it's crowded, but I mean that in the best of way because, everybody wants to be there and they're excited, and it's about that shared experience. And, whether you're at a concert, a baseball game, anything, I see your hat.
Team Israel.
Nothing's really better than that shared experience. So being part of a religion that's so shared experience centric, that just means a lot to me.
And, when did you really find who you are as a Jewish person? We always talk, I know a lot of people, you don't talk about religion, you don't talk about politics, you don't talk about money. You and I, we met through being Jewish, and we'll get into that in a little bit because it's a really cool fucking thing that how it happened. But we met through being Jewish, and obviously we talk about community and all that stuff. When it comes down to it, everybody kind of has their own level of Judaism, and me, I'm labeled as a quote secular Jew. I do it for culture and stuff like that, and as a little, I'm an American Jew, not a
Sure.
Jewish American kind of thing. Where did you find your, I guess, level of Judaism as an adult or young adult?
As soon as I find out, I'll be sure to let you know. Obviously, still, like I said before, it's cliche, and I guess if I have to say that, maybe that means I just use a lot of cliches and I got to work on that. But I mean, the truth is, yeah, I don't think it's, we've got, where we generally get grouped in, but I don't think it's ever something that you decide or you choose. I think it's, obviously there are choices that have to be made just to live your life. You have to be practical in that regard. But it's something that constantly evolves. Not even necessarily, I believe something one day, don't believe it the next day, but in terms of what you connect with at different times. So I will say, over the past few years, as I've just gotten, as you grow up, as you kind of become your own person a little bit, you start developing your own way of doing things, your own way of experiencing things, and religion is just one of those things. And yeah, I'd say, I guess just in the past few years, I've really just become more secure in where I am in that regard. I really am just proud to be Jewish. And there's so much, not just about the community aspect, but even ritually, there's certain prayers that I love, and like I said, the music in it. That's just something I connect with so much.
So we mentioned the community a lot, and there's this awesome thing on Facebook where I was thrown into it by a friend of mine, and she literally was like, "I got added to it, so I'm adding you." And I'm like, "Okay." I had no idea what it was. This was literally the day after my birthday, by the way, so almost a year ago. And we're talking, I was clueless. It was a Facebook group. Who uses Facebook groups anymore?
Ouch.
And all of a sudden, this Facebook group has played such a huge role. I know in my life, I've made some incredible friends, present company included. Cheers to that. I got a little water here. And your brother as well, Yehuda. Sure. But without this Facebook group, I'm looking at a completely different A, pandemic life, and B, set of friends, essentially. So through Meet Jew, and I think it's University Dating is what it's officially called, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna preface this answer by saying Max and I are not dating. It is originally intended for that purpose of helping people meet each other for romantic, if you will, purposes. It's grown so far beyond that. I've met so many amazing friends. Obviously, yourself being one of them. But yeah, it's become a group where, people meet for, to date each other, like the name says, but so many people just use it as an amazing social platform and an opportunity for Jews, for people to connect from, just the other week, there's a girl from Las Vegas who hopped on the call and suddenly we're friends. And, you're from Long Island, I'm from Jersey. That's not so crazy. But next week, friend Yosef, who we met, he's from LA. He's flying across the country. He's got
Grandpa
cousins
Yosef.
in Passaic. Yeah. And we're going to see him next week. And it just...
And where'd you go really, 2 weeks ago? You flew out somewhere 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, so 2 weeks ago, my brother Yehuda and I, we actually went out to St. Louis to visit our friend Alyssa, who is one of the moderators of the group. Just an amazing human being.
Really a gem of a human. Really is.
Yeah. Alyssa, if you're listening, we don't mean a single word of that. But no, she's amazing. She's a big part of the reason why the community is what it is today. She's a moderator. It's just kind of ridiculous because she's so much more than that. But yeah, one of the things she does is she hosts these Zoom calls every night, and I know lots of the times at this time, if we weren't recording together right now, we would actually be on the call. There's people from all over, and any night you'll have anywhere from 20, 30 people, and on the bigger nights 40 plus, who knows.
I haven't seen a 40 plus Zoom in a while though.
oh, you're coming on the wrong times. But no, but seriously, they have dwindled a little bit. Things open, people go back to doing what they do normally when their world consisted of more than just a little
little
screen.
person in a box, yeah.
Yeah. But the core is still there, and it still does feel like there's new people coming every day, every week. But it's funny you say that. I remember the first time that we met, and there you were, Max Lutzker, on my little screen one night, and the next night towering over me at 8'3" or whatever you are. And it was crazy because it was this like abstract concept of like, yeah, we're friends, but like I'm friends with like this much of you.
Person in the box, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just, and suddenly meeting you, then meeting a few others, it makes it so real. It really just, all those, even the friends you don't meet, it strengthens those friendships because it just makes them feel so much more substantial, more tangible.
Right.
But it's, oh my God, what a crazy year.
And you and I have kind of had a very pretty much the same friend group for most of this. We kind of had our little quote unquote cult.
Yeah, I guess they would call us that.
That's what they called us, yeah. And we've had kind of the same friend group that we've kind of stuck with throughout this entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because I know when I tell my friends about this, and my friends aren't all Jewish, they're not all, they don't understand exactly the community aspect of Judaism as much as others do.
Sure.
They'll be like, oh, what are you doing? Are you on Zoom with the Jews? And I'm like, hell yeah, I am,
Every goddamn night, yeah.
Seriously, every night. It's like Zoom's an addiction at this point. But yeah, man, this Meet Jew group has, I think, as you said, social platforms changed a lot of lives too. If you really think about it, even at a base level of giving people to talk to, an outlet, to say, hey, listen, I'm doing this. Like, there's, first off, the support you received from our group and Meet You when your song came out was astounding. How many people do you think reached out to you?
That's a good way to put it. Oh, I don't even know. Yeah, I was getting calls and texts and DMs from some, from obviously there's close friends, there's not so close friends, and then there were people I hadn't talked to in a long time, and then there were some from people I didn't even know, and it really just, yeah, that group, what it's created. But I guess it goes back to like what you said. It's not Zoom that's bringing us together. It's not the Facebook group that's bringing us together. Well, literally it is.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, what helps the people connect is that at the core, all the people there are Jewish. And like, so you hop on the call, even if it's for the first time, and you're staring at a whole bunch of faces you've never seen, and they don't know who the hell you are. You have that connection. Chances are you have somebody who's related to somebody who's related to somebody else, and suddenly you're all cousins in there, because Judaism works like that too. But even just on a base surface level, even there, it's present, that power just to bring people together.
I always say it starts with one thing: the friendship, and in this case, it's Judaism, and obviously you're a baseball fan, you're big into music, and you're just an all around good person. So obviously people are going to gravitate to you, and I know, shocking, right?
I appreciate you.
But like, we have people like, and I'll drop some names here and shout at people out, like people like Remy, who is a little more religious than some of the other people that come on, much more religious than I am. But yet we're all friends because Judaism. And then whatever else it may be. There's people like Adam Spector, Jewish. He's a big sports fan, so we're friends with him. And I know you kind of are friendly with him as well.
Yeah, he was actually the first person who ever met from the group.
Like in person?
I'm thinking, yeah. I was thinking it was you.
No.
But then I was thinking, I haven't been sleeping, so I should probably keep thinking. And upon further thinking, yeah, he was doing some.
He was doing a road trip kind of thing, yeah.
Drive. Yeah, something like that. Don't remember where. why, but yeah, he stopped one weekend in Passaic, and for a bunch of hours he just walked around with my brother Yehuda and I, and like I said, at that moment, just kind of boom, it all hit. And it's like, oh, this is real. These people are real. The friendships are real. I don't know it yet, but Max is real too. And buckle up, world.
Yeah, and even through you, essentially, I've made friends with our friend Tamar, who you know through Cascasset.
Yeah.
And you brought her into the fold, and now she's out here on Long Island going to school in the city, stuff like that, and she and I are hanging out. And it's dude, it's so crazy because you say it's like a social platform, and I don't. It's essentially like LinkedIn almost, where you're connecting with all these people who are like-minded, like people like with your case, anyone who's musically gifted, Jake Staffen, Jason Greenberg, these guys who are our friends,
Josh Witt.
and Josh Witt, another one. Might have to have him on the pod soon. um, but we're all like-minded people. We're all creating something. At least the people I just mentioned, at least, are all trying to create something. To the point where I know you and I believe Jason were actually working on a song together.
Yeah. Well,
sorry, Jason, if this is not public knowledge, but
the following has been edited out. No. Yeah, so Jason actually has been working on a song, and one night he was on talking about it, and he was having some difficulties with mixing the different parts he recorded, so I said I'd take a crack at it. So I started playing around with the parts. He sent me the session, and I started looking at the different audio tracks in Logic. That's the workstation I use for audio. And I started playing with that, and my brother plays guitar, and suddenly Jason's asking my brother Yehuda to record lead guitar for it, and another guy, James Alvocius, in the group is recording bass for the track. And even like that, all these people are just coming together. Doesn't even need to be in person, but obviously we've met in person, my brother and I. He's in a bedroom about 4 feet to my right. But it brings people together. It's really, really amazing. I remember I think Conor McGregor was fighting one night, and a bunch of us were in a breakout room watching that.
Yep, I remember that well.
There was a virtual New Year's party. I mean,
there was.
It just, it seems like
you put that together.
I posted the link anyway. It just kind of it kind of came together because it came together. But don't want to take more credit than I deserve there. But it was just there were a lot of really amazing people who showed up. Everybody in the comfort of their own homes, solitude of their own bedrooms. People got dressed up in suits and ties. I remember you put on a tie. That was a rare occasion.
You made me do it.
Yeah, speaking of bar mitzvahs, you look like you just had yours, but you know what? I'm sure you killed your Haftorah. And
mine got cut down by about 5 lines.
Really?
I could not memorize it for the life of me. Couldn't do it. I couldn't read. Dude, I would be the worst. I like telling people I'm the worst Jew. I eat bacon cheeseburgers, I eat pulled pork, and I can't read Hebrew.
That's the big three right there.
That's the big three right there.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna let you in on something. I actually didn't read anything for mine.
Really?
None at all. Yeah, I know you think Orthodox family, dad's a rabbi. So my brother did. Evidently, that was a smart way to go because bar mitzvah gift thank you list I had to write was significantly shorter than his. So there seemed to be some correlation there. I guess they were just paying him for his services. But yeah, I wasn't pressured. I said, I'm scared. I'm not doing it. I refuse. And they said, cool. Yeah, obviously they didn't say at the time you're going to get less money. I probably would have, because it's all about the money.
Oh, it's the money in the party.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would have spent it all already, and the party was good anyway, but didn't read anything, yeah. So you got me beat there.
And you said your dad is a rabbi. Did he do your own bar mitzvah, or did some other rabbi do it for you guys so he could enjoy it?
So a different rabbi did. The rabbi of our congregation here did. Okay. So he was just a father being there with his son.
Correcting everything you might have said wrong.
Yeah, well, he couldn't because I didn't say anything. So
that's true. It's true.
Yeah. So there we go.
Always fun looking back on stuff like that. Like I remember last year, Jacob and I, my brother, found an old picture on, I guess, our mom's Facebook page of the two of us at my bar mitzvah. And I'll have to send it to you at one point.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because it's just he and I when we light the candles, I guess it is. So my brother, as you know very well, is quite the character. And he had on,
That's the best way to sum him up, yeah.
Those giveaway like ski hats that were wild colors and weird designs?
Oh, yeah.
He had a pink one on in the picture. So last year was 10 years since my bar mitzvah, which is crazy.
Jeez.
And so we actually recreated a picture, just sitting on the couch. And it's crazy to think back because, like, when you're looking at it, you're like, I don't remember any of the Hebrew I read. I don't remember what I said. But yeah, there are all these pictures and evidence that I did all of that. For me, at least, it's crazy because, like, I could read. First question you get asked when you tell people you're Jewish is what?
Are you circumcised?
Well, there's that one too.
Although I guess saying you're Jewish answers that question.
Right.
Was that not the right answer?
Not what I get, but hey, listen. But I always get, oh, so can you read Hebrew? And the answer I always give is, not since I was 13, and even then barely. It's crazy to look back on. It's because Jews use a whole different language. And they read the wrong way too.
Yeah, it's everybody's driving the same way on the street, and yeah, I guess it's better than England, right? At least they're turning the right way.
But yeah, no, it's crazy to look back on all that stuff. I don't know if you do that at all, or like I know for me I do.
Yeah, sometimes. I remember. It's funny now; it wouldn't be so in style these days, but back then he was just a TV star. I had a Donald Trump brand tie. He had like a clothing line back then. He had a clothing line. They sold him at Macy's. Like I said, back then he was just a TV star.
Right.
And it was just like this blue tie that I was just really excited. I don't think it matched the suit. But yeah, so I had that, and I was probably about yay tall. Now, granted, I'm only up to here now when I stand up. I'm actually on risers. I think my legal height is 3'7". But which again comes with being Jewish. But
I guess I missed out on that one.
Yeah, geez, quit hogging all the height genes. No, but seriously, it is crazy to think about. Yeah, because for me, right, my birthday was last week, and I guess that makes it 10 years ago as well. And it's weird. In some ways, it feels like it was a million years ago, and in just as many ways, it feels like it was yesterday. But I guess that's just time.
Time, yeah. Any other shout-outs from me, Jew, you want to give real quick before we move on?
Ooh, wow, that's a tough choice right there.
Hey, I'll let you take the floor. I'll go do something else if you want to give it.
You know what?
List.
I don't even have to think about it. Rabbi Yosef Plitman, Grandpa Yosef. I know we mentioned him earlier, but
one of the elder statesmen.
Elder statesmen, the best meat Jew has to offer. He's just an amazing guy. Just super thankful to be friends with him. Like I said, I'm glad he's coming in to visit. But he was one of the more recent newcomers. And, sometimes somebody, you just meet him and you're like, yeah, we're going to be friends. I mean, he opened his mouth. I don't remember what he said. But the first thing I thought was...
any number of things.
It can't. But no. No, he's fantastic,
and he's another guy you would never have known if absolutely. Not for this community.
Yeah, he's 3,000 miles away, and suddenly we're close friends.
Exactly.
And yeah. I mean, real life doesn't breed those kinds of opportunities nearly as often.
Crazy, man! It's crazy that something like that can really have such an impact, like a Facebook group. And we're in 2021 right now, and who would have thought that a Facebook group would play a massive role in day-to-day life during this pandemic. It's crazy.
Yeah, but hey, I'm sure thankful it did.
So, and you mentioned Passover coming up soon, so I figured I'd break out a little grape juice today, and
as it just so happens to be.
Say cheers to you and meet you for sure for bringing this great friendship and many years of it.
Clink.
My headphones fell off.
Well, no, I get to say all sorts of things, and Max doesn't even know.
What?
It doesn't matter.
And another thing with you is you're a big Yankee fan, man, and you'll let me know about it too. I know that. You'll always give me shit about being a Mets
because
fan.
You're not exactly. Yeah, I mean, you call yourself a Mets fan. I don't. I'm told they play the same sport, but I don't think I've heard of them. They're what are they in the Double A?
Listen, you went to Binghamton. You saw their own ponies, I'm sure.
So what? The Mets are the Double A affiliate of the Rumble Ponies.
Oh my god. But you know, with opening day coming up right after Passover, thankfully right after. You know, are you looking forward to anything from the Yankees?
I'm looking forward to a year without injuries, although it seems like Justin Wilson, Robinson Chirinos, possibly Miguel Andujar, and I don't even know who else.
2 former Mets and a future Met. Got it.
Yeah, who've already decided that they're having injury troubles. Obviously, it's not their own doing, and at this point, it's weird to even say it could possibly be the Yankees or anything like that. But it's at a certain point, it just becomes ridiculous. I mean, any serious baseball fan would tell you it's just kind of crazy what's going on. It feels like every year now, we've got these big expectations. The team ends up being crazy good, and then there's some injuries. Things fall flat here or there. And I'm just hoping that. Yeah, I mean, at least we make the playoffs. Once every 10 years, that would still be a step up for you guys and Queens.
It's not right. It's not right, man. That's fucked. We were in the World Series more recently than you were. All right.
Yeah, but
we should have won that one too.
See, but that's the whole thing. As a Yankee fan, I'm not trying to look back with regret. I'm trying to look forward with excitement. Whereas you have none, I'm sure.
Hang on a second. Yankee fans look back all the fucking time. All you do is look back. Oh, 27. Okay, when's the next one?
You mean number 28?
When is it? Not this year.
By the end of 2021, I think you'll all be singing a different tune.
Is that a prediction right now? Is that a prediction?
I'd like to say it is.
All right. So anything new coming out with music? You got another song in the work? You got I know you said before we jumped on you were working on playing around with a sea shanty, which was fucking hysterical.
Yeah, it's funny. There's this other group that puts out acapella songs, and I saw today they released a Jewish sea shanty. So I figured, I'd have fun with it. I wasn't gonna come up with my own version or anything like that. I guess the song's called The Wellerman. Famous shanty, which is kind of crazy that such a thing even exists. But that's become all the rage. So yeah, I recorded a bit of that. So I've been having fun with that. But as far as serious projects go, at this point, it's just as much as I love doing it, it's also a super time-consuming and very, very expensive process. So trying to take it slow, but I am definitely working on different things. There are a few songs I'm arranging, hoping to come out with an original of my own, possibly even something that's not just a cappella but with backing instrumentation with my brothers. We were discussing a few things today, so nothing concrete as of yet, but a lot in the wings.
And is this something you want to do as a career? Because I know you said you're going to school for nursing and you took your exam and you're waiting, obviously, for more information, taking more classes still, all that. Is music the real passion, or do you want to go into that nursing field? Is that really where the passion is?
So, music's something that gives me joy. but nursing is something that allows me to, well, not nursing in general, just in general, that feeling that you get from, saying I help people today, it's something I was proud of today. And yeah, I'm proud of my music, but I don't know, there's something about being able to comfort people who are scared and make people who are sick feel even a little bit better and just take care of people day in and day out. The idea of that just excites the crap out of me. Yeah, the idea that I could lay my head down on my pillow and say that today I made a difference, that feeling is, that feeling is what motivates me, the feeling that I've made a real difference. And that's really what I want to do, and that's what excites me. The music, I've discovered, I guess, that for whatever reason, people like listening to mine. And
it helps you a little bit of talent, just a little bit.
I appreciate it, I really do. But yeah, people seem to enjoy that, and I obviously love making it. But I've also discovered that at a certain point, for me, when I try to do too much with it, it almost starts feeling like a job more than a passion. And so, just for me, I've tried to keep the two separate. But it's definitely not something I'm getting rid of anytime soon. I just, back over there in that corner of the room, I've got a new pair of open back mixing headphones. So, I'm constantly investing money. It's not something I'm not serious about. It's weird to say, but I guess the thought of becoming a nurse has me just as excited.
Because I know you were, over the summer, you were poking people's noses with swabs.
Yeah,
COVID testing.
Yeah, I told people whenever I met them, I said, hey, I'm a professional nose picker. What do you do? But yeah, I spent a few months this summer out at a local COVID test site in Passaic. We were wearing PPE suits and face shields and gloves, all that, out in the heat. It was pretty crazy, but honestly, it was a blast. The people who worked at the site were fantastic. We were listening to music while we were working, and obviously still being totally professional, but just having some background noise to enjoy. And we take breaks and sit and eat together. And at that time, it was one of those rare opportunities to even hang out with people in person at all, because back then things were so much more shut down and so much more closed off that one day actually I went in. I don't even remember his name. It's been so long. We only met each other a few times, but there was this other guy who worked there. And one morning I said hi to him, and without thinking, we both gave each other a fist bump. And as I walked away, it was just going through my head, oh my God, I just fist bumped somebody without a glove, not somebody, not my brother who I live in the same house in, but like a stranger. And it was just, it was even more than what it seemed to be, just because for me, it wasn't just an opportunity to help people. It was an opportunity to get cool experience that I wouldn't necessarily get till I start clinical as part of nursing school. It was, it just kind of like the Facebook, kind of like the calls. We all need that something to give us a little bit of normalcy. And even if normalcy means standing outside in a plastic suit and, 90-degree weather, sticking swabs at people's nose, if it gives you that little bit of human interaction that you need, whatever it is, it was just really a crazy experience, but one I'm so grateful for.
Was there a certain technique on the swab? Did you have to learn, take a day of training for the technique, or would you say they tell you stick it up there and just get up?
No, I mean, at a certain point, sticking something up somebody's nose is sticking something up somebody's nose. But yeah, you don't want to go too far, obviously. But they taught us you really just want to make sure you could check and you get like mucus on it. I know that's a lovely thought. I hope everybody who's listening is in the middle of dinner. But so is that, and I think for whatever reason, the left nostril always seemed to be harder to get it into than the right nostril. But
interesting.
Everybody's got a nose, and everybody seemed to hate it when we stuck cotton swabs in theirs. But you know what? I hope they're better for it.
It wasn't that bad when I got tested. Now you're fully vaccinated, ready to go, ready to get back into reality, right?
Oh, here's hoping, yeah.
Once life gets back to normal, what's the first thing you're doing? Like once all restrictions are lifted, what is the one thing you're looking forward to getting back?
I'm thinking
I can say past life.
I'm thinking a little Subway Series, Yankee Stadium, you and me. Corey Kluber to close out his perfect game.
Jeez, you're killing me. You're killing me.
The Yankees up 12, I'm sure.
Jesus Christ. Must have been a bullpen day.
With the Mets is an everyday bullpen day.
You're brutal. You're brutal. You're brutal. Oh, man.
Yeah, but no, I honestly just things like that. I love it. The big crowd and, like the smells and the sounds and, even just the vendors calling out everything about, just going to a sporting event. I've really, really missed that.
Oh, yeah. Have you tried getting tickets for Yankees games at all?
Not yet. I've been talking to another friend as well. Just nothing's materialized yet. But at some point soon, I'm going to have to. Because I keep talking about it. Eventually, I've got to actually get my act together if I want to get it done. And I want to get it done.
Well, as always, it's always fucking a pleasure having a conversation with you, whether it's through Zoom, or even in person, since I've gotten the chance to actually hang out with you a couple times, thankfully. I know we have something coming up. We're planning to hang out at some point this upcoming week. So just,
Yes, sir.
Always a pleasure. I'm glad you were able to come on. Let the listeners know where they can find you on social media.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. So yeah, I'm just, Facebook, that's just my name. I'm sure you can find it spelled out in the description of this podcast. On Instagram, it's funny. I don't know how to spell my username on Instagram. Is that bad? I think that's bad.
I don't know if it's bad. It's just not ideal.
Let's see here. Let's see if I can find it's a variation of my name. I ended up just one day let's see, I'm pulling it up right now. One day I was sick of my old username and I said, you know what, my name's Meir, I'm gonna do something with that. So except there's more than one E. Let's see how many there are. This is news to me, just like it is to you. Let's count them. Live, very exciting, on-air entertainment. It's my username is MEEEEEIR. So just Meir. That's what I am on Instagram. If you can't find me, you know what? That's fine because I didn't know how to spell it either. But
that must make signing in.
But I'm trying, man. Sorry.
That must make when you sign in to Instagram, it's actually for your username. That must make it a ton of fun.
Oh yeah, there's always a lot of guesswork involved. If I'm on a new device that doesn't have the username saved, I'm just typing and typing and typing and typing it. You keep throwing something, you hope it sticks, and not this time. This time I had to.
Now you have done. And on Twitter at all or no?
I used to be. It was kind of just taking over my life. So I figured I'd come to you for my baseball news. Now I figure I come to you for my baseball news instead, and what am I really missing at that point except a bunch of angry political discussions?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But as I said, always a pleasure. Glad you were able to come on. And
likewise.
I'll see you on the Juice-Ooms.
Yeah, I love you, buddy. Good night.
All right, brother.